Christian and hopeful have entered the celestial city, and the book has ended on a glorious and joyful note. Well, no, actually not quite, because the book doesn't end there. There's a little bit more that we have to read. The book ends with ignorance. We met ignorance earlier. He was a man who didn't enter through the gate, in other words, through Christ, but he was confident he was on his way to the celestial city. He didn't need to come in through the gate. Now, he was confident in his goodness, his religious acts, his sincerity, his attempts at Christian living. He thinks those mean he is accepted by God. Well, he gets to the river of death, and he gets across it easily. No worries in death for him because of his vain hope. But at the gate of the celestial city, he fumbles in his pocket, and he has no certificate. In other words, he doesn't have faith in Christ. His faith has been in himself, not in Christ. He only has claims about outward engagement in Christian living. So, for example, he says he's eaten and drunk in the presence of the king, which is a quote from Luke 13, verse 26. In other words, he's taken the Lord's Supper. He's been a part of a church. He's gone along with outward Christian things, but it's all just outward. And the whole book ends on this really sombre note. He is tied hands and feet and thrown into hell. Now, why end this magnificent book in this sombre way? Because John Bunyan was a pastor, and he is insistent that we make sure that we are trusting Christ and Christ alone. We make sure that we're not trying to live the Christian life, go the Christian way, without having first entered through the gate, which is Jesus himself. He's insistent that we make sure we have repented and put our hope in Christ, not in self, not in church, not in our goodness, not in our sincere attempts, but in Christ only. So, we've come to the end of our series through this wonderful book. Please make sure that you don't just know the book, but that you know Christ. That you've entered through him, the gate, and that your life is all about getting to the celestial city to be with him.